What is going on, everyone? We are back. We are in action, and this is the Unmasked Aftershow. Joe did an awesome show with Aaron tonight on the Kicker Unmasked with amp dynos and the power precision, just all this crazy technical stuff. And man, did that that really tickled my feathers, man. I love that kind of techie stuff, amp dynos, you know, seeing how an amplifier really works. And we're going to talk about it. Without further ado, let's get to the intro, and I'll see you guys in a second. Test. Check 1, 2. Is this thing on? How's this work? Oh. We live? Oh, we're live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. That was an awesome show. Man, Joe is a guy that I would love to pick his brain. Just with amplifiers, all the techie stuff, and I know some of the information might have went over a few of y'all's heads, but I understood it as much as I could. But man, is there so much more into amplifier design than we know. Man, I thought the 81 was like the go-to kind of amp tester. I know the audio precision is the bee's knees of, you know, old school type deal of, you know, testing amplifiers, but maybe old school can't be beat by new school, so we know how that goes. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I know we got a few comments here from Kicker Club here. What's his name here? Matthew Gordon, thank you for tuning in. I was way too dumb to understand that live stream. I had to bounce. I'm a stock electrical, knobs to the right, subs go boom kind of guy. Same, man. You know, we all learn to critique ourselves to make ourselves a little bit better, but we all have our roots. All those squiggly lines and tech talk made my brain go numb. I know, even Aaron's like, all right, Joe, what's going on here? Because I know, you know, it's like, each person has their literally job there, if you want to call it a job, you know, and it's just because it's like you're having fun at the same time. But, you know, it's a lot of stuff that we don't have to worry about. But when you buy products from certain brands, you don't have to worry about it. And other times you might be buying something that you may be missing and you don't know. And that's just kind of how it goes with car audio. And that's the sad truth. You know, if you're missing something and you never had something before, you don't know if you're missing something or not. And you know, to start off with a good brand and then go with a cheaper brand that might have more power, you can tell a difference. But if you start with the cheap and then, you know, you stay with it, it's like, oh, what am I missing? I'm fine. You know, I'm used to replacing my amp every other year, you know, or I'm used to, you know, I have to go crazy with my electrical so my amp doesn't shut off and blow up and catch on fire like the pizza box did. You know, so I feel like that's very important, which is how the industry is, and everything does have its place. Don't get me wrong. Thank you guys for tuning in, and Oakley is doing a lot better. I'm sorry I missed you guys Friday. I was literally ready to go live, and thank you, Deviant. And we went to the park. We went on our normal walk that we usually do right before I go live. You know, I like to get the fresh air, hang out with the family after dinner, you know. And most of the times we don't go to the park, but we had a few extra minutes, and that's usually what happens. You have your accidents closest to home. But he's doing a lot better, and man, that was scary. That was scary. I thought it was going to be a dislocated arm, you know, and a torn something. Nah, he has a broken upper arm, just a hairline fracture. So not terrible, but still needs a cast. So it's scary, but he's running around like he still has two arms that are fully functional. Holy functionality. Thank you, Deviant, for your super chat. 14.4 volt talk. Discord is fire. If you guys get the link, the invite, go check it out, man. It is. I try to bounce in when I can, you know, just the same people that tune into my shows are on the Discord. So it is pretty cool to just hang out, and sometimes you can get a hold of me there too, you know, so it's a win-win, and you don't need Facebook, Instagram, or some kind of platform. So it has its benefits for that. Thank you for your super chat. I don't know if super chats are working. It probably is $1.99. I could skip that because I ramble on way too much. But we're using the Google Chrome. But you know how the StreamYard is. You never know. Let's see. Coronut. I favorited this one. Did you draw an L7 from the 14.4 volt talk on the cast yet? No, I haven't. I was just talking to Kayla about that we need to sign his cast. So, man, I would love to do that. My daughter's the artist. I'm going to have to ask her to draw a kicker on there. Thanks for tuning in, Coronut. El Fuego chilling with the after show from the Pacific Northwest. It's engraved in my head, I'm telling you. Thanks for tuning in, man. What's for dinner? We had some enchiladas. I'm Eastern time, so my dinner was about 3 hours ago, but we had some enchiladas from refried beans and some rice. It was really good. I'm not the biggest fan on, you know, spicy Mexican stuff, but I enjoyed it. What's going on, Deviant? Thanks for tuning in. We got Ronco160. Thank you as well for tuning in, man. Let me turn my music down. I can barely hear myself talk. Ooh, you know what? I kind of like it jamming. No. Full tilt boogie. All right. All right, let me scroll down here. Of course, we got all our voltage in tonight. Dynamic Duo is in full effect. Thank you for tuning in, 25. William, Andy, living loud with Andy. Kicker Unmasked, Aftershow for the win. You're a rock star. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for always tuning in and being just, you know, a supporter of the channels. I see you, man, and always tuning in. Thank you so much, man. And all you guys are awesome, man. You guys are all rock stars. Come on now. All right, let me scroll down here. Yes, 25. It was a very good show, man. I love when they do testing stuff. I mean, that's what I watch on YouTube other than my YouTube friends, you know, like obviously Derek and Rob, I'm good friends with them now, but it's like, and Parker and, you know, MBE, but it's like, those are the type of videos that I like to watch that just maybe they're not my friends that are doing them. And it's like, I like the stuff where it's like you're learning. You're taking something away from it rather than maybe just seeing what it does on you know, the bench, which is awesome to start. And once you start learning, you want to know more. At least I do. So it was very good episode. Bill, you're calling me. I am live and direct. If it's very important, shoot me a message. All right, let's see here. Let me scroll down. Bill, you know there's always the Unmasked after show. Let's see here. Man, I need to force myself. We got someone here from Kicker Club. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's scary anytime your kids get hurt. No, super chats are not working. That $20 would have been there and it would have stayed. Man, so SJC, it's this computer, man. You know, I don't understand. I don't. I thought it was the Google Chrome. I really did, or the Microsoft Edge. So, man, checkity 1212. One of my engines, one of many engines blowing through. Hit that like, y'all. Thank you, Baba, for tuning in, man. And Baba's gonna be getting something from me here very soon, man. It's something pretty cool. You know, got some bragging right type deal situation. I think it's gonna be awesome. Thank you for the super chat test, man. I really thought that this did it. This did it. The Google Chrome. We got Ernie. What is going on, Ernie? Driving home, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, Ernie. Awesome job tonight, man. I wish you would have got a slow motion, shot of the amp catching on fire, the pizza box. But otherwise, you did excellent, man. Thanks for tuning in and listening on your way home. Be safe, man. Bobby B said he sent me some pictures on Messenger. I'll have to go check it out. I seen you sent me a message. All right, cool. While we're sitting here, I'm going to message Bill. Everything. Bill usually doesn't call me unless it's something urgent, so just verifying. Awesome, man. Screw it, take the call. Usually I do. I know I messaged Ernie right after the show, and I was going to message Bill, and I was like, I'll message Ernie, and then Bill calls me, so maybe we were on the same wavelength there. Ernie said, we were down a camera guy tonight, so it was hard to get good shots. Oh, that's right, Tim. Oh, man. Good old Tim. It's okay. It's okay. We'll forgive him. Pizza box fire would have been awesome. I know, man. I love stone oven pizza, but I don't know, man. Amp oven pizza, amp cooked. I don't know. Usually when you cook something too fast, it's burnt on the outside and it's not even cooked on the inside. I'm not like a well done kind of guy, but I like a little bit of pink. But I like the inside cooked a little bit. When you cook it that fast, man, no way. We like it a little bit well done here. Medium well done works for me. I know some guys it's gonna trigger you. You like your meat raw. Maybe that's the amp for you. Thank you, William. Happy 1 year streaming. I know that was the thing, because I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. That was my 1 year anniversary of streaming. And that's why I was going to, just hang out with you guys Friday, and then everything happened. I'm like, man, a time for this to happen, but hey, that's life, and you got to be ready for stuff like that, and you never are. And you have to just jump to what you have to do at the time, man. That was it was scary. It was scary. We called her sister, which is a RN, had her come over, check him out, and it's just yeah, let's go take him to the hospital. And good thing we did, man. Hairline fracture. Yeah, you could not do anything, but then being so little, things could grow weird. You know how that goes. Cornut. I didn't think to ask Bill Frog to take a pic with me last weekend in Oregon until he was gone. I guess I was starstruck. So, you saw Bill and them. I seen you guys in the Discord chat talking about that, and I think, was it 13 or was it you too? Seeing all the kicker guys. That's awesome, man. I know, whenever you're in that situation, you just want to absorb it, And it's like awkward, like, hey, can you take a picture with me real fast, So, but man, all right, let's get to kind of the topic with the amp dynos, the audio precision testing equipment. Man, is that stuff top tier, you know, compared to how the 81 or Steve Mead, how that generically measures an amplifier. If you're looking for just watts, I guess it's perfectly fine, and that's what it does. Even with the SPL lab, it's going to do the same thing. And yes, it's going to read THD, and so does that. But the tests that they were doing with all the other, you know, the bandpass test, obviously the torture test of just power and time, and if it goes into protect or not, or catches on fire, you know, that there's that too. But you know, just everything with the signal to noise ratio, and I feel like signal to noise ratio is kind of important, you know, obviously. And I know some people are like, oh, well, I can't even hear, it doesn't matter, I'm doing a 160. And that's where those products have their place. You know, if you're just going for the bass and you're you're getting ready to do your park and pound, and it's a 30-second, and you just got to have your mids and highs cranking, and then you pull up your bass, and you're never going to hear that anyway. So it has its place for that, you know, and price and performance of what you're trying to get. But if you want something that's going to last, man, at the end of the day, you're paying anyway. You're either paying in electrical or you're paying in product, period. Ernie says, AP, the audio precision, really expensive gear, lab grade. I heard him, Joe, talking about it, saying it was like, what, $30,000 or $40,000? Like, that's insane. That's insane. But I mean, it's a spit in the bucket compared to everything else with, you know, it's like, okay, a car dyno, you know, how you dyno the horsepower on a car, the flywheel, the wheel horsepower, all that stuff. Those aren't $3,000. Those are expensive as the audio precision, if not more. But when you're a car manufacturer and you want to know what type of, you know, what your car can do, or you're a street racer, God, I mean, you can't be... But you're into that. You want to know every tenth of what your performance is of whatever you're testing. And that's what that does. And yes, a lot of us are looking for just the power. But man, when you find out what you're missing, then it's like, oh, wow, man, maybe I should have just forked up a few more pennies and got something a little bit better. Because in the end, you know. But that's how life is, man, no matter what you do, you know. Cars, vehicles, car audio, you know, even down to furniture and everything, you know. You get what you pay for. That's just life. All right, let me scroll down here. I know I'm behind. Deviant's asking where the triangle sub is. It's sitting over there. I feel like the L7-8 and the 12 just look so much better. I do want to do something with both of those, but building an enclosure, getting to that, I got a lot more work to do with my car. I still have to hook up my isolator, which I have everything to do it now, the switch, you know, just and some more time. But now it's like, oh, I want to see how loud the quad box is on Park and Pound, you know, and still tweaking that system. It's like you're ready to do what you needed to do, and then you find something else that you want to do, and then you do it. That's my life. And these live streams, man, you know, just doing them all the time, it was nice to have a little break, regardless, you know, the situation, but it was like, man, you know, this is nice, but at the same time, God. I needed the break, but this is not the way I wanted to do it. Big D 76, any news on the new L7 Solo X date? Right now, no. Q4, which is coming up, we're at the end of Q3 here. Man, if I knew when it was coming out, I would tell you guys. Nah, I couldn't tell you anyway. But it's not right now, and hopefully by the end of the year, if not in the beginning of next year, but who knows? Hopefully not longer than that. You know, I've been hoping and praying for this product to come out because I hate answering this question, and I know those guys do too, and we, all of us just want the products here and ready for you guys. Man, but it's worth it. Let me tell you that. I got to hear them. when I went down to Stillwater 2 weeks ago, 212s in a custom box. And boy, was that awesome just to hear it. You know, bass is bass, but it was awesome hearing it, feeling it. L7Xs have traveled through my body. So, and it was cool. It was cool. And I got to see some other things too, man. And you guys are going to be excited for the products that they have. And some new ones too, man. Oh, man, there's lots of winks coming here. Lots of winks. Hey, but you know Steve, he's loose lipped sometimes. So he's just like, oh, yeah, we're going to do this and do that and do this. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. That's awesome. Really? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're going to be happy. I can't wait to tell them. But I can't tell you. Not quite yet. Tune in, man. Always here, or the Unmasked show. You're going to hear it first. The Unmasked show. This is the Aftershow, or just my regular channel. So make sure you subscribe to Kicker, man, and watch the Unmasked show. Weekly, bi-weekly, whichever the situation is at the time. Tune in, man. 7:30 Central. That's where you're going to find out all the new release products that they have. They just, we're talking more about the 5x7 motorcycle speaker. It's awesome looking, man. For Harley Davidsons, it got some weird tweeter placement, but it looks so cool because of that. And I'm sure that's for more than just looks, for some, maybe some diffraction, or, you know, however that motorcycle speaker is designed, because I know motorcycle speakers are different than car audio speakers. Pro audio, or not pro audio, but you know, for the motorcycles, the outdoors, you know, to compensate for the wind, you know, and the listening positioning, with just, you know, how that stuff works, man. Kyle TBV Davis, thank you for tuning in. What is going on? What's up, Andy? Hit my first 150 today at 28 hertz with 212s. Congratulations, man. Once you hit that 50, man, it's smooth sailing, you know, because then it feels like anything you throw in your car, you're going to get that 150, or probably a 49. Let me tell you, 49s for days. But that's awesome, man. At 28 hertz on 212s, man, you got to be sending at least 5-6K to those buddies. And, but you know what? That's the kind of product that I feel like the L7X family is going to be, where you're going to want to send it a little bit more power and maybe not be as efficient as you're used to with the L7S or the Qs or the Rs or the Comp Qs and all the other stuff that they have. But you'll be able to do pretty crazy numbers at low frequencies, and they'll be able to take it, which is going to be awesome, man. Thank you for letting me know, and that's awesome. Congratulations, man. It is a very good feeling to be able to say, I got a 150, let me tell you. El Fuego, thank you for tuning in. My Kicker ZX460 amp looks like a George Foreman grill. Can barbecue anything after an extended resistive load amp dyno. Man, those ZX amps are, woo, AB class amps, and man, they're not the most efficient, but they're not the worst either. But boy, do they get hot. I used a ZX 550.2 to break in my buddy Justin's 12-inch sub. I forget what it was. It was a Frankenstein. You know, it had Blue, the brand Blue, soft parts in there. Blue from SPL Dean. I forget what his actual channel is or whatever, but he makes custom drop-ins. But he had Sundown U's in there, but all custom stuff. And, you know, these guys with their super stiff suspension, and you got to break it in, and he's just replacing one. And it's like, okay, I can break that in for you. I'll throw it on an amp. I played it for like 6 minutes, and I'm like, man, this amp is hot. This amp is 160, 70 degrees. That cannot be good for the amp. I'm going to blow up the amp. But the more I use Kicker products, the more I realize how bulletproof they are, you know, and that's something that I need, because I'm always testing something. I'm always pushing something to the limit. And I feel like if you're a real enthusiast, you know, even if once you learn what your stuff can do, then you don't have to push it to the limit. And the more you learn that you don't. It's kind of confusing, where it's like the more you learn, the more you realize, okay, let me just do this, and I won't be pushing my equipment to the ultimate limit. But while you're in the process of learning, that's when you're pushing the equipment to the limit, and that's where you're going to have fault and failures with the system. Amps catch on fire and stuff like that when they're not built to be abused in a way. And having products that take abuse, man, take a licking and keep on ticking. I fell into a very comfortable brand, you know. I got lucky with everything that we're doing here. And that Solo X just landed into my lap the way it did, you know, and admiring the brand and just loving it, and then learning so much more about it. Time come now, man. I'm lucky. You know, could have been worse. Could have been Koss or Boss. No, I'm just kidding. There's lots of other brands out there, man, you know, and I feel like other brands, not just Kicker, man, you know, like the name brand stuff out there that's been around, you know, Alpine, Rockford, Fosgate. Okay, yeah, there's some newer ones, if you want to call them new, Sundown stuff, and they have their pros and cons too. But if you're talking just reliability with stuff, obviously, so there are some amps that are maybe not as, you know, built dummy proof as other with each brand and class, you know. But I feel like when you buy something from Kicker, it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be dummy proof, and that's what's awesome, man. It really is. Sorry, behind on the comments, going down rabbit holes. You know how I do. All right, let me scroll down. Big D76, I'm about to drop 12 grand on subs. I would rather it be L7Xs. Hey, if you got 12 grand to slam down on a system, man, do not spare any expenses. You got the right idea. Let me take a sip here. I'm a little rusty. I'm not used to going live only once a week. That break, it's like having the bye in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're terrible after a bye. Terrible. T. Corley. I love Kicker, but for me, the only sub I would run would be a Solo X. Well, I get what you're saying, you know. Let me try to change your mind. No, I'm just kidding. I get it, you know, because the Solo X was the epitome of an SPL woofer. You know, that's what it was designed to do. And, you know, it's what got me hooked, you know. I understand. But the more I've been able to experience with the other products, I'm like, man, for weight, pound for pound, they keep up. They keep up. And that's the cool thing. And then you got to go into it thinking what you're buying and what kind of performance that you're going to get out of it. And I feel like that's the biggest and problem, if you want to call it with that, with entry-level Kicker products, Walmart, Best Buy, the whole how they get that perception of, oh, it's cheap, it's junk, it blows up. Because people just push their equipment past the expectations of what the performance is capable of the product that they're using. Like, that's just, you know, they're expecting way too much out of it. You know, and I feel like, you know, you got to look at it like, okay, pound for pound, what does this sub do versus this sub? And when you look at it like that, that's when you will see the pros and cons of each driver, each brand, what it's used for. You can't compare it to a shallow mount, compare it to a 15. You got to be reasonable. And then, you know, you throw two 12s in there, and then you put on a 1,000-watt amp, and you don't know how to set it. Yeah, you're going to, 1, clip it, 2, overdrive it, and then 3, next thing you know, you blow the coils, you throw some scars in there, and just because they're 1,500 watts and they're half the price, yes, they'll take it, but they need all that, and they might be an ounce louder, maybe 2, just because it's able to handle that power that you're trying to give the smaller subs, and they didn't last, and they didn't need all that power. And they weren't designed for that, you know. And even for Scar, you know, they have their place within reason. Like, I feel like I try to back them up. Like, I've heard some Scars, man, and they get down. Don't get me wrong. I've built a wall for two. Was it 2 18s or 3 18s? 3 18s. No, 3 15s. I forget what it was. My buddy Brenton's 3 15s in a 4th order, and did like a 150 at like 3K or something like that. And you know, it sounded good. And I have this 18, this SDR, played it free air, sounds great. My buddy John Akis had 2 12 Evils on a KX8 2400, banged. You know, it's sometimes you can hear that difference, but whenever it comes down to reliability and how much power you have available, those other products might not be worth it. Or you're thinking you're getting all this power out of your system, and you're really not. And because your electrical can't keep up because you're running, you know, less efficient stuff where it's demanding more power to make the same. Man, it's a very deep iceberg to get into it, but that's why we do this stuff. We talk about this stuff so that we can kind of dumb it down in the nicest way for people to understand that, you know, you get what you pay for with a lot of products, but sometimes that product might work for you for that situation because you don't care. You don't need this. It blows up. I don't mind it. You know, I would rather just go buy a new one and save the time and, whatever the situation is. And I feel like some people just want to run something because they want to. They like it. And you can't hate on them for it. You can't. Cornut, luckily there's going to be a special Living Loud with Andy fan discount. Hey, I'm listening. Deviant, with a public service announcement, Andy has a Patreon. If you enjoy this content, toss him $1 or $2 a month. Dude is the homie. No other streamer has this much chat interaction. That's a fact. Absolutely, man. And I'm in that Discord, man. Check me out. Patreon, Living Loud with Andy. Man, I don't do a lot of uploads, but I keep you guys in the loop first. You guys are going to know, and just your contribution to the channel. Man, it means so much to be able to buy stuff. I went to Harbor Freight, my favorite place, bought like a battery tester, a load tester, and new tools, because for my, I was struggling out there putting that pilot together, and, just so that I'm refreshed on stuff, and you guys being able to do that puts in my garage so I can do more stuff with all my audio builds and just A to Z. Plus, Kayla's stealing half my tools. I don't know where they go half the time. She's building beds and futons and all kinds of stuff. You're thinking power sports. Yes, power sports. Sorry, I'm really far behind on the comments here. There's a 5K coming? What would Kip do on that? Would that be like a wink or something? I think he used to wink a lot. I think that's what that was. Bobby, Andy, how'd the interview go with Kicker? You know what? Yep. I asked Steve. I'm like, so I got the job? Oh, man. That was an experience like no other, Like, man. I wanted to get a little bit of the video done for you guys. It's going to be a longer video. And then this whole weekend with Oakley happened, and I'm like, you know those memes, those GIFs, you throwing the papers up in the air. It's like, nope, not doing nothing. I'm going to watch some Netflix, relax. Kids, families all disarray. I didn't sleep the entire night. Like, I literally got home at 10 a.m. that night. Didn't stay up. Or I slept from like 12 or 11 until 4 p.m. that day, and it was just, I'm all off. I will get that to you guys soon, man. I need an 18-inch L7. I want them to make an 18-inch comp. I know, it makes no sense, but I feel like it has its place. And, they have the 15-inch comp, which is a great driver, which is right there, actually. And, but I never got to hear that one. I got it pre-blown. Sometimes they come like that. Just kidding. No, it was a blown sub. Came with a box. I grabbed the box sub. Here you go. You can have it. Thank you. But yeah, an 18-inch L7. I mean, I feel like an L7X would be better if it was an 18, just because of the market that it's going to fit in. Not many people are going to fit an 18-inch whatever woofer in the trunk of their car. And that's a thing too, where you have to think about it as being a brand where you have a good warranty, right? Okay, good, great, good warranty, good company. I got your business. But there are those people that return things for, quote, no reason, but there's a reason, where they say, oh, it doesn't fit in my car. And it's not their fault, but it is. But you still have to take that back and eat that, where, okay, well, they didn't know, and there's less of that. And two, less people just to buy it too. That's the thing, because again, yes, the fitting, but the price and the size of woofer, I feel like just how technology works, cell phones don't get bigger, they get smaller. There's a lot more people doing bigger things with smaller things, where you see so many truck builds with 6.5s and people loading up, walls of woofers with like 10s and 12s. And it all depends. And that's probably a topic that I'm going to get into on Tuesday, which I was thinking, it was tickling my mind. I'm like, maybe I should talk about sub sizes and why they matter and stuff like that. Because I feel like, yes, you can get the same cone area out of 212s as a 15 if the 15 is, what is it, square? Yeah, 15 square is the same as 212s round. So, and there's variables with that, and the amount of box space that you need for the 15 versus 212s Is it the same or is it different? It depends the driver, depends the power, the level, the performance level of the woofer. Just kind of what kind of sub you're buying. Is it a slim woofer where it's just got a lot of high efficiency? It's loud on low power, needs a larger box, or it's a woofer that has a lot of excursion, needs a smaller box, a lot of power. And it all depends. And I feel like knowing your speaker size is very important. If that makes sense. I don't know. I think it'd be a good topic to talk about. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, man. 18-inch L7. Yeah. I did see an 18. I did see an 18. Oh, we got one. Forgot it was immediately after. Thought I had an hour. It's all good, Bill. Well, you guys ran the show late. That's why you thought you had some time. 90 minutes-ish. I know how it goes, Bill. I know how it goes. What was I was going to... oh, yeah. That's what I needed. The Facebook Kicker Club comments, so I can see the comments here. Oh, come on. Load up, load up, load up. It's not going to load, is it? There we go. Matt Gordon. Was it Matt Gordon? Yeah, he did. He had a couple comments here. Walmart was probably the best and worst thing that ever happened to Kicker. Well, it depends which way you're looking at it. I feel like with how technology is today, with how people interact, the shows that we do, the information that we're trying to get out to you guys and relate to you guys, it's becoming less of a thing than it was. I'm sure people probably thought the same thing when they walked into Best Buy. But it's like, why? I thought it was, when you went to Best Buy, you were getting a good product. And here, to look at it, it's like, yes, you're getting a good product, but you're not getting a huge, 18 ZV5, compared to what is out there, But is that good for you or me? It all depends. But going into Walmart, I get that. But man, you guys are going there to buy your very fancy TVs that cost thousands of dollars, or maybe at least $1,000. I mean, they're pretty cheap now. But it's like, just because a brand is there doesn't mean it's bad, And I feel like, man, if it wasn't there, you guys would be complaining. If there was no car audio at Walmart, you guys would have nothing to talk about. And you go to Walmart, you cry. You're like, man, I missed the car audio section. Just like how they took all the fish out. I go past it every time. Fish aren't there. Sad. Same thing. If Kicker wasn't there, I'll be like, man, I don't know if I want to rep Walmart anymore, I can't. But hey, it's a dual-edged sword, and you can't make everybody happy at the end of the day, man. Thank you, Devin Drizzle. Long comment. Holy, how did you comment such a big comment? It takes up half my screen. I ended up taking my amp out of storage, Orion XTR 2500.1. I thought I had the original, the old school Orion XTR 5000, but I was wrong. I just ordered 1/0 wire. Legion OFC, okay, yeah, because you have the XTR 25, right. Wired, everything listening, $79.99. Ooh, OFC gauge kit for $79. That sounds a little bit too good for a whole 1/0 run. I would check to see if that's CCA, but I don't know. That sounds like a big 3 kit to me. Let's see, switching everything soon. I'm psyched how they get that person make everything perform much better. I also plan on upgrading the Victoria subs at some point. Just not sure what I want to go with. But stay up and stay basin, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, you had the 215s or 415s. I forget which. I know you had the L7s. I feel like, you're taking a step in the right direction, man. And again, you know how to reach me, man. If you ever need any help, just shoot me a message. I know I'm very bad at getting the messages sometimes, just a penny life. But I try to get to them eventually. 5 to 7 business days. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, though. For real. Just with the more, intricate stuff. But it all depends, man. I know some people that are like, you take the wheel. Let me know what I want. Here's my budget. Help me out. Give me some options. Great. And then there's the other people where they're indecisive and they're like, I don't know if I want that or I want this. And they change. And it's like, man, I don't know what you're trying to get. But at the end of the day, it's like, take one step at a time. That the Team SP Loud, just the word of reason of what I came up with back in the day. And it's because it's so true, Don't expect, your system to sound perfect. the first time you're going at it, but you have to prepare and again, be ready for the amount of performance you're going to get from the products that you're running, and watch people like me and then more where they're getting more into how this stuff works. I know some people will, they'll turn the cheek and not even talk to you, but there are people like me out there that are helping and talking about this stuff and giving you guys ideas, but at the end of the day, it is experience by yourself, learning what works, what doesn't. Time, man, time, dedication, keep doing your thing. You'll be all right, man. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Yes, SJC NDAs are serious. RGA's in the house. What's going on? Slap Andy for a like. Wait, I mean slap a like for Andy. Either way, man, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. Yeah, guys, smash the like. It makes me feel good after I get off the show. Eventually I go and check the likes, and I rewatch my shows at least the night after or the day after. I rewatch beginning and end, and I like listening to my show. It's like if I can re-listen to my show, then I must be doing it okay. If I'm going to go down too much of a rabbit hole and I'm not getting on a subject that I want to talk about and I sound boring, then maybe I need to change some things up. I feel like every time you're doing this stuff, you try to make yourself better, and, because you'll get stagnant, man. You really are. You really will. I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping good ever since that hospital, I went to bed and now it's like 4 a.m. comes so fast, I'm not even tired anymore, and it's like, man. But I got a lot to do tonight. Got to take out the trash, and I'm probably going to go meter the pilot, because I'm a night owl anyway. And more car audio stuff, man, Come on. It's always fun. Andy, check out the Texton tools. That's probably at where I just went. Oh, shoot. I got the Pittsburgh tools, the cheap ones. I mean, it works. Plus, it's Pittsburgh. Win-win, right? At least for me, I'm not doing very, extracurricular stuff where, I'm torquing things down. I don't need super expensive tools. But it definitely does work to have something decent. Jay Graham. What is going on? I'm the guy from TikTok, Team Base Hub. What is going on? Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you made it. I know he goes live, Friday, literally right after me, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. I think it was 11 o'clock at night. Right around when I went live. But he goes live on TikTok. Check him out. Base Hub, I think Base Hub 2 on TikTok. So check him out, man. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. What's going on, John? Hey, Andy. Thanks for tuning in, man. Shoot. If you're not doing anything tonight, come meter the pilot with me. It's nice to have a buddy when I'm doing SPL stuff. No one wants to play SPL with me at 2 a.m. Everyone's sleeping. All right, Deviant, I know you're lying now because he just said 25 joined the Discord. Lying to you? All right. Dub Team, thank you for tuning in. Walmart would entice the non-audiophiles that want bass, which increases interest into the hobby. Why not? I'm not right, and that's the thing. And I feel like they're targeting the average Joe, Joe Schmo that has wife Karen, and he's like, honey, please, can I put a subwoofer in my car? Well, as long as there's room for groceries. And then he's like, okay, which one do I want to get? Power acoustic? Never heard of it. Pioneer? I used to have that when I was a kid. Kicker? I like Kicker, and that'll match my black car. Grabs the Kicker. Okay, what amp am I gonna run? And that's the person that they are targeting. And believe it or not, there's more of them than us. So just so you know, it's like the grasshoppers and the ants, man. They're the ants. We're the grasshoppers. We're outnumbered. It's a Bug's Life quote, just in case that, Good movie. Great movie. Or was that not Bug's Life? Was that Bug's Life or Ants? No. Bug's Life. Both great movies. Side jagging. Sorry, guys. El Fuego with the super chat. Thank you, El Fuego. Thanks, Annie, for a great show. I've got to catch 14.4 talk on Discord. Go check it out. Thank you for the super chat, El Fuego. Thank you for always tuning in, man. I can't wait to see when you start doing your shows, man. I will be tuned in no matter what I'm doing. I will drop everything. Ooh, okay. Take a sip while I'm reading comments with my pinky up. Thank you, Jason Grant. I try, man. I try. I try to keep it, relatable and not monotone. Bubba, I know you guys are jumping back and forth from Discord and here because I watch my viewers go do 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 do. It's so funny, but it's okay, man. It's okay. I know where you guys are at. I know you're still watching. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Let me scroll down. Larry Keller, in case you guys cared, it was a sound digital amplifier that blew up on the Kicker Show. I don't know because they said it was a half-bridge amp. Sound digital, at least in I thought they were all full bridge, sound digital. So maybe not. I don't know. It could be. It could be. And, we didn't actually get to see it. And a lot of companies do share amp layouts. There's duals that look like DS18s. So you don't know for sure. Who knows? It could have been a DS18. I don't know. You don't know, but either way, it was a board that had bad protective circuitry. It couldn't even handle whatever that stressful test is. It shouldn't matter what you throw at it. That amp should go into protect. It should shut down and then come back on, or gear down the power. I've noticed it with the CX amps. They gear down the power. It's not super noticeable, but after a while you can tell the difference, let me tell you. Obviously voltage drop is there too, so it's kind of hard to decipher, but they shut off and they come back on. When you guys seen my 150 demo when I ran those things down to the dirt, man, it shut off and it came back on. Shut off, came back on. I was pushing that thing farther than it wanted to go, and it kept coming back on. Deviant for life. It was a Woody. Absolutely, it was. My guess was, man, I forget because I tried looking power ratings up, and I'm like, man, is it a some kind of Sony Power Sports, or is it just but I don't know what actually does those kind of numbers at 4 ohms. 200 watts, some 250 watts by 4. That's a pretty big 4-channel amp. But for the size of it and being half bridge, I believe that one was half bridge too. Unless it could have been a sound digital, man. I had a sound digital amp that I never got the dyno. I got it off of Dan at the stereo shop. It was a sound digital 800.4. And I played some music through it. It sounded good. It worked. I put it on the amp dyno, and I think I got the video to it actually going, or what did it? No. I got a photo of it doing 4 ohm certified, and then I tried doing 4 ohm uncertified, and I didn't even get halfway up, and it went boom. And it was before I actually filmed, because usually when I do an amp dyno, you warm up the amp, you see what it does, you go, wow, oh my goodness, it did all that power, like you're surprised. But you kind of want to run it through its paces to see what it does, especially the way I test stuff. I don't test stuff on the 81. I'm using an SPL lab and turning the gain knob up, and I'm getting pretty much the same results as everybody else. But it literally just went poof, and that was it. A little poof of smoke, didn't go into protect. I didn't run on crappy voltage. I had all the power it ever needed, and I think I had, all 4 channels were driven at 4 ohms, and it was 2 ohm stable, 800.4, and it just didn't make it. But it was a used amplifier. It was a used amplifier that one of his customers just gave him, and he got a new one. but he was saying he was having issues with it, so I'm thinking it was on its last leg. But regardless, I didn't have good luck with Sound Digital, but I hear good things about Sound Digital compared to Terra amps. If you're talking full bridge amplifier, Brazilian style, if you're going to go that route, go Sound Digital. But if you're going to, you know, it all depends what you're trying to do, man. Yes, Sound Digital are full bridge, yes. Love the CX amps, need to pick up another 1800.1. Absolutely, man. I love my CX. I want to get the 46 that are 1 ohm stable, so I can wire my quad box down to half ohm on each amp, and do that 150 like I normally did, and be able to play music. The 43 2 ohm stable ones are great amps, but I need a little bit more power just with what I have, just so I don't have to change subs. I want to keep the quad box what it is. I'm just wiring it down. I could go and get dual 4s and wire it down to 1 ohm and do the same thing technically, but I think I would see more power just wiring down to half ohm. And amps that are 1 ohm stable and box rise, I'll be good. As long as I ain't playing no wasted information, I'll be okay, man. I'll be okay. It can only be that amp, Andy. It's discontinued. 205 by 4, 784 by 2. It can only be 1 amp. I know they do got exact ratings. It very well could have been a Sound Digital amp that did that. But I thought it was like 225. I thought it was a little bit more. But I know what you're saying, man. It very well could be. The world may never know. All right, usually we hit that bald spot on the tire right about this time here. Trying to think if I got any little videos. No, I've been slacking. I have been slacking. Let's see here. Nope. Got nothing. Got nothing. Matthew Gordon. Andy, where are you located? I'll send you a Terra amp and Sundown amp to dyno. I would happily do that. My amp dyno bench is all torn apart. I got my power supply. I need to invest in another battery since they went into the vehicles, and I have power wire to do everything and everything else. But it's kind of been on a standstill with the Pilot because I took everything out from my amp dyno and half of it's in the Pilot. So I have to replenish that, which ain't a problem. I want to do amp dynos. I just picked up one amp on another amp you guys are going to like. It's got VU meters, okay? And I don't want to give too much away, you know, but it's another amp that I wanted to do just because of what it is. And old school, obviously. They don't do VU meters in the newer ages, which is a shame. Sorry, Derek. I know how much you love VU meters. But I wanted to stock up on amps a little bit, so whenever I do want to do the amp dynos, I can do them. Just reach out to me on Facebook, man, and we'll go from there. I just don't want you waiting forever on your amps. I know, Bobby. I'm trying to get to your kicker amp. It's the first one. It's going to be on the list. I'm telling you. You'll get a special VIP to the video on Patreon, just you, before anyone else. And then once you watch it, then I'll give it to the rest of the patrons. Thank you, Bobby. Sorry. Thank you for your patience, man. I'm trying. Cornut, the caboose is kicker going to do. Well, we don't know if it's the caboose tonight. It changes every night, but mostly originally, the caboose, is Kicker going to do full bridge amps for the L7X? I want to see these new amps. Well, if you think about it, all their big amps, the KX, the CX, 1800, 2400, respectively, full bridge. So, I cannot confirm nor deny, but I think I'm allowed to say it'd be a full bridge. Yeah, I could say that because I seen one. I seen one, and I heard one. So, yes. I gotta watch what I say here, man. I know Ernie's driving. He's like, Andy, you bet. Don't you do it, Andy. Yes. Full bridge. Yes. I feel like, well, that's another thing too, because, you know, half bridges are strappable, and the whole family You couldn't have a strappable amp that's full bridge, so is there more? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I just, you know, I hear things, I see things, and that I almost forgot about that. But yes. I think Andy gave that discontinued sound digital to Kicker to blow up. Yeah, no, I gave it back to Dan, and I was like, here you go, man. I swear I didn't blow it up. And he was like, oh, man, it's okay. You could have just kept it. But, yeah, I mean, with those amplifiers, maybe the sound digital, it's worth it more to repair. But my amp guy doesn't like working on Terra amps, one, for just because they're just cheaper amps and how they're designed and the parts they use are just, you know, you're better off replacing the whole guts, running something better. You know, it's like a mechanic working on a car that's just, you know, made out of just Chinese cheap metal, you know, and using Harbor Freight tools to, you know, tear an engine apart. You know, he just doesn't want to do it. He'll do it, but he doesn't want to do it. And is it worth it to you as the consumer that's getting your amp repaired when the amp's like $500 new and the repair job's going to cost $200 to $300? You know, it's almost better to just go and buy a brand new one at some point. You know, it's like, man, this is the second or third time I had to repair this amp. The FETs just keep going. You know, usually it's the FETs that go. Sometimes the capacitors swell. It could be anything, man. You could have a bad solder joint just by, you know, of how quality control is. You know, regardless of the brand, regardless of the quality, you can always run into that. But how often you run into that can be more with, you know, cheaper amps, and it's almost better to just go buy another one. And hey, it works for those type of people, man. Not gonna lie. It's okay, man. I realized that maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, that Kicker amps, CXAs, are full bridge. Yes, they are. They are full bridge. Even think about the Alpine MRP series, the MRP 2K and the 500. You know, they're all full bridge amplifiers. But that's why, you know, they're smaller. They're not huge. You know, you look at the old ZX series amps, not full bridge. Huge, massive, not full bridge. Usually, that's how it works. Just how the layout is, and you know, how much space that they need. Not really need, you know, because there's a lot that goes into full bridge versus half bridge. Man, I would love to hear Joe talk about that kind of stuff. But, you know, obviously efficiency with the power that they take, but not even talking about that, just the sheer footprint of a full bridge amp compared to a half bridge, the size and just how they work, totally different. And the swings of the rails, and just, man, it's just science and math and physics, and that's why I love this episode of, you know, Joe talking about amps and stuff, man. I could talk about and learn and just listen and interject, you know, and have comments and questions about it 24/7. And I would love that input, you know, like literally input, more input. Joe, come on, Joe. You know, like I would just be sitting there absorbing the stuff because I love that. I love to learn how things work, and especially car audio and just the ins and outs about it. You know, obviously there's some stuff that I'm just never going to pick up on, you know, because I just don't care about so much in my brain. It's just how it works, man. ADD, it's a thing. You only learn about the things you really care about, and you got to force the other ones. But they will stick to a degree, don't get me wrong. But it's like a very, very deep iceberg, and it doesn't go down straight. It goes down wide, too, because there's all different angles of how amplifiers work and the physics and science behind it, man. And what we know when we watch the Amp Dyno videos, that's what everyone saw on the Titanic. That's it. But hey, sometimes that's all you need, you know? I seen we had DIY Audio Guy always tuning in late, but it's okay, man. Thank you for tuning in. Awesome show, by the way, yesterday, man. I missed the very, very end, but you know, I'm working, friends start talking, it happens. But thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate that you're here. Yes. Would love to hear you talk about full bridge versus half bridge. Full bridge gets a bad rap. A lot of old school type people refuse to run them, or so they think. Well, I wouldn't say it's you know, it's the Brazilian full bridge that gets the bad rap, not the full bridge technology itself. But yes. Bridgeable amps can't be full bridge. 4 channels can't for sure. Dual mono maybe. You know, I seen Derek's video about the dual mono and it wasn't a true dual mono, so that makes me think. But then Sound Digital has a 800.4 or whatever amp, and I swear that's full bridge because it's literally this big, tiny little guy. Cannot be full bridge. Because I know what is it? I know the Marine KXMA 1200.2, that cannot be bridged because that's, I guess, a dual mono, and they're both full bridge boards, and they're just 2 boards. You can't bridge them together, so it's true stereo. So maybe, but you can bridge the Sound Digital amps, right? Or maybe you can't. Maybe the way that they're built, if they are full bridge and they are a 4 channel, 4 separate amps. I don't know. I don't know enough to answer this question. Man, I hope someone gets back to me on this, you know, that knows a little bit more, or I can maybe figure out, you know, what makes full bridge work with only mono or 2 channel or 4 channel. But I feel like it's just the way that the amplifier is laid out. Why couldn't it be a 4 channel? But it makes me think that it can't be, but why couldn't it be? Do you know what I'm saying? And I know it has different ways of how the rail voltage goes. It's not the push and pull like the Warhorse, but it's different. And I get that. With like the positive swing and the negative swing of just how it puts it together, and that's why you can't bridge it, because it's already bridged within itself. Sort of. And I'm just talking out with Tang back here. I don't know enough, but I get it. So I don't know what... I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I really don't. Yes, 25 Ernie did check in tonight. He's driving. He always lets me know. Makes me feel good. Nah, it's just cool that he tunes in. All you guys tuning in. Right, there are 4-channel CXA amps, but they are AB class, not D class, and that's totally different. That's totally different than half bridge and full bridge. But they are small. So, are they full bridge? I don't know. I know they're AB, but I know they're not D class, but that's a different animal of how an amplifier works. I'm telling you, there's so much to this stuff, and we only know like the certain pinpoints of each, you know, area of how amps are designed and their classes, and just, you know, and then it branches off. There's so many different things. It's insane. It really is. Without a link, I still can't get in the Discord. Can you paste a link? Deviant, you're going to have to do that, buddy. Oh, God. John's putting me on the spot here. I just read like half it. Andy, if you have 30 seconds to explain to someone the difference between a half bridge and full bridge, the full bridge amp, the best way you know how would you phrase it? Man, you know, I feel like 30 seconds, literally, a full bridge amplifier is going to be more efficient. Half bridge amplifier, 9 chances out of 10 you can strap them. But do you even know what strapping is? If you don't, maybe run a full bridge and make sure it's a quality product full bridge. Because if you run a cheaper one, they're not as bulletproof as a half bridge, just in general. My opinion on them, I don't know exactly the intricacies of how they work and, you know, the pros and cons of each. I get it, the efficiency of how much power they pull. But again, you can get some better efficiency from a half bridge that's just built better than the cheaper full bridge. But you're going against the grain. That's about as much that I know on it, you know, of just how they work, man. You know, I wish I knew more. All right, cool. Well, we definitely went over that hour already, so that's good. We always hit that bald spot, you know. You can feel it, like going down the road, like doom, doom, doom. It's okay. All right, Dub Team, thank you for tuning in. I feel like a few of you guys are jumping off. Still got 30 people in here, which is awesome, man. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll go live Friday, of course. You know, ask me anything. You pick the topic, what we talk about. Kind of like this, but, you know, this is like we're talking about what they did on the UnMasked show, talking about amplifiers. Kind of sticking to a method of the madness, but not so much on Friday. And then Tuesday will be the Kicking It With Andy show again, and we're probably going to talk about sub sizes and different sizes, the pros and the cons. I feel like that's a very good topic, because, you know, you always want to have something that is relatable, one, and then two, talkable, if that's a thing. You know, just being able to talk about something in depth for more than 20 minutes, where you can, and people can have questions, you know, like square, circle, you know, and enclosures and power, and I feel like there's a lot of variables with that, because that's one thing someone asked: what should I put in my car, 210s or 212s? Yeah, tune in Tuesday. That's what I tell them. All right, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in, man. It's been awesome. SJC, hit that like for the best audio stream. Thank you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you so much. Yes, the CXA 360, man, that's what I got in the Pilot with the Quadzilla, Quad Box, Quad Van, whatever you guys want to call it. You know, it's just, it's an awesome amp. I love the CX series for the bang for the buck. They are awesome. Absolutely. See y'all, guys. Let's get this countdown going, just so we can figure out who's the caboose for the night. And I will see you guys on Friday? Yeah, we're gonna try to make it Friday. I'll see you guys. John, I'm glad your daughter was dancing to the intro, and Larry, I'm glad you're going to go back and watch the Unmasked show, man. You know, that is the point of the Unmasked Aftershow. And Cornut with the caboose, thank you guys for tuning in. That is it. I will see. Oh, Discord. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Deviant got it again. He stole it last second. I'll see you guys next time. Stay living loud. No, Bubba took it.